Hello my YouTube friends! Here's how OBS Virtual Camera is supposed to work. You enable it, you open Zoom or Discord, you select it in the camera drop down, and boom, you're ready to go. Here's what actually happens for a lot of people. You get a black screen or it doesn't show up in the list at all. And every fix you find online tells you the same thing. Just click Virtual Camera. But that's not the problem. And after a decade of working inside OBS every day, I'm going to show you exactly why this breaks, how to fix it for good, and how to use it properly across every app that actually matters. So you know what? Let's get to it! OBS Virtual Camera is not a webcam pass-through. It's not just piping your camera feed into another app. What it's doing is creating a software driver on your operating system, a virtual device that looks like a physical camera to every other application on your computer. It outputs your active OBS scene, not just your webcam source. That's everything in the scene and it all comes through. Background removal, overlays, lower thirds, pretty much anything that you can imagine. Your entire production layout, it all goes through the virtual camera as though it were a physical lens plugged into your machine. Now there are two things to keep in mind. First, virtual camera carries video only, no audio. And that's by design, it's not a bug, and I'll show you exactly how to fix it a little bit later. Second, you have to start the virtual camera in OBS before opening whatever app you're planning to use. Whether it's Zoom, Discord, Teams, or whatever, that ordering rule eliminates roughly half of the problems that people talk about. So with that established, let's get into the actual setup. Now, if you're running OBS 28 or later, which you almost certainly are at this point, Virtual Camera is built right in. So there's no plugin required. You're going to find it in the control dock in the bottom right corner of OBS. Now, sometimes you might come in here and you don't even see the virtual camera listed in your controls. So what you're going to do is go into your directory for OBS. So yours is going to be located differently than mine. Mine, I have a specific drive for all my OBS stuff. But yours is probably in C program files, OBS-Studio. You just go in there. We're going to go to Data, OBS Plugins, and then Win-D-Show. And we're going to go to Virtual Cam Install BAT. And you have to run it as administrator. So we're going to right click and we're going to run it as administrator. We're going to get an administrative prompt that you can't see. We're just going to click yes. And now my virtual cam is installed, as you can see here. Press any key to continue. And let's go ahead and close this out and open it back up and see if our button shows up. And there it is. Start Virtual Camera button is now here. Click Start Virtual Camera. And that's it. Now, if it fails to start on Windows, run OBS as administrator. Well, how do you do that? You just right click on the OBS icon, select Run as Administrator, and try it again. Now, you can also set up your shortcuts so you always run it as administrator. And all you have to do is right click your shortcut, go into Properties, and then you want to go to Advanced right here. And click Run as Administrator, and then click OK and OK. And then next time you double click to run it, it will run as administrator and give you a prompt that says, do you want to run this as administrator? Now that single step catches most Windows specific launch failures. Now if you are running OBS 28 or older, I'm going to recommend that you probably should update. There are a lot of features added to more recent OBS versions that are just plain better than the plugins you're using in versions that were born before OBS 28. Now, Mac users have one extra step. After you start Virtual Camera in OBS, Mac OS requires you to grant camera permissions to each app that you want to use it in. So you have to do that individually. This doesn't happen automatically. So you're going to go to System Settings, Privacy and Security, and then Camera, and you're going to see every app that's requested camera access. Find Zoom, Discord, Chrome, or whatever you're using and confirm each one is toggled on. Now, if the app isn't listed there yet, open it and let it ask for camera access, then come back to this panel and enable it. Now let's connect it to something useful. Let's try Zoom first. It's where most people are going to hit the wall. Open Zoom settings and go to the Videos tab and find the camera dropdown. OBS Virtual Camera should be listed there. Select it and your OBS scene is going to appear in your preview immediately. If it's not in the list, OBS wasn't running or the virtual camera wasn't started before you open Zoom. So you want to close Zoom, go back to OBS, confirm that the virtual camera is active in the control dock, and then reopen Zoom and it's going to be there. Now if you get the black screen in the preview after selecting it, you have the same root cause. OBS is running, but the virtual camera has stopped running for some reason. So check in the OBS control dock. If it reads Start Virtual Camera, go ahead and click it. Then switch back to the OBS Virtual Camera in Zoom and check the preview again. Now while we're in the Zoom settings, this is the right moment to talk about what we're actually sending through. Most people set this up, switch OBS to virtual camera, and forget about it. They're still sending the raw camera feed. The smarter move is building a dedicated scene in OBS specifically for calls and meetings. You can add your own background, lower thirds, and even an overlay to make your call screen really stand out. Now Discord has two completely separate video features, and confusing them is one of the most consistent sources of frustration about this whole setup. There's your camera in a video call, and that's what the virtual camera connects to. And then there's the Discord Go Live feature, which is a screen sharing feature. Those are different paths. The virtual camera handles the first one. The Go Live is totally separate, and the virtual camera isn't the right tool for that. For the video call camera, you just go to User Settings, Voice and Video. You scroll down to the camera section and you select the OBS Virtual Camera from the dropdown. If it's not showing in the Discord list, this is the App Launcher order problem again. Discord was open before the virtual camera was started. Close Discord, confirm the virtual camera is running in OBS, and then reopen Discord. One thing worth knowing about Discord, the camera preview in user settings sometimes doesn't update in real time. So if you switch to OBS Virtual Camera and the preview looks frozen or blank, don't worry about it. Start an actual video call. The live feed will render correctly once the call is active. The rule for every browser-based app is identical to everything we already covered here. Virtual camera has to be running in OBS before you open any web page or anything like that. But the browsers add one more additional layer to this. The first time that you use the OBS Virtual Camera in Chrome or any other Chromium-based browser, the browser's gonna show a camera prompt for permission. The prompt will list OBS Virtual Camera as the device option, and you need to click Allow. After that, it's selectable inside Google Meet or whatever application you're using. Now you can click the gear icon to open settings and then go to video and choose the OBS Virtual Camera from the camera dropdown if it's not already selected. If OBS Virtual Camera doesn't appear in the browser's camera list at all, even after approving permissions, open a new Chrome tab and go to Chrome Settings, Content, Camera. Make sure OBS Virtual Camera is set to allow in that panel. Sometimes a permission prompt gets dismissed without being explicitly accepted, and this is how you correct that. For any other browser-based meeting tool like WebEx or Whereby or Teams, any of them, the flow is exactly the same. It does not send audio though. When Zoom or Discord sees OBS Virtual Camera, they're seeing a camera device, not a microphone. So whatever audio you have going into OBS, your microphone, your desktop audio, or anything else in that mixer, none of it travels through the virtual camera to the other apps automatically. And this is by design. The question is, how do you route the audio alongside it? Now, the most basic and easy way to get audio is to just add your microphone. You're gonna wanna come over here, set up your headphones and also your microphone. And you can see when I test my microphone, it's working just fine. So now we're all set up. But if you want to access all of the OBS audio, the cleanest solution for most people is a VB cable or virtual cable. Now these are free and install in about 2 minutes, and they create a virtual audio device, essentially a software wire between OBS and any other application on your system. Now these can be a bit complicated to set up, to say the least. So if you guys want me to show you more about virtual audio cables for OBS, let me know about it in the comments and maybe I'll do a video just about virtual cables. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to assume that you're just using a single microphone with your virtual camera, which is really simple. You just select that microphone in the drop-down. So let's go through the failures one at a time, starting with the black screen. This is the most reported issue by a significant margin. And the fix is almost always the same. The virtual camera isn't running. Check the OBS control dock. It should read stop virtual camera. And the next one is virtual camera not showing up in the camera list. The app was open before the virtual camera was started. Close the app, start the virtual camera in OBS, and then reopen the app. Basically, the launch order was the issue. Another problem we didn't really talk too much about here, but the wrong resolutions or your images look stretched. Your OBS canvas resolution doesn't match what the app is expecting. So you're gonna go into OBS settings and then video, and then set both your base canvas resolution and your output resolution to 1920 by 1080. If your canvas is set to a non-standard resolution or aspect ratio, this is pretty much where the distortion comes from. On Mac, the virtual camera is active, but no images in the app. Go back to the system settings, privacy and security, camera, and check that specific app. On Mac OS Ventura or later, each app's permission is managed independently. A permission granted in Zoom does not carry over to Chrome or Discord, so you gotta check every app individually. Now, if it's still broken after all this, and if you've worked through every step and the virtual camera still isn't functioning, then the virtual camera driver itself might be corrupted. This happens usually after a major OBS update or a Windows update that touches the audio and camera drivers. Settings changes aren't going to fix a corrupted driver. You gotta uninstall OBS completely, restart your machine, and do a clean install from the obsproject.com. Now that reinstall rebuilds the driver from scratch. That should get you up and running with the virtual camera on any application. If you want a deeper dive into those virtual audio cables, let me know about it down in the comments. And if you want to see what my end-to-end production workflow looks like, you should check this video out. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Fire Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.